What's up, everyone? Today's Friday. There are 9 games on today's card, and I got 3 picks. We'll get those picks in just a moment. First, let's talk about another winner that we had yesterday. We hit our play with the Spurs. I had them with the +2 early. Larry Markkinen got ruled out for Utah. San Antonio became a 2.5-point favorite. Didn't make any difference. They blew out the Utah Jazz. Utah winless to start the year. San Antonio was on a second night of a back-to-back. Didn't matter. They went in and got the job done. I've been noticing, guys, a lot of these teams on the second nights of back-to-back. It's the beginning of the year, so it kind of makes sense. There's no point talking about fatigue until at least we get into a month into the season when the legs start getting heavier. I'm not really paying too much attention to the back-to-backs and the fatigue factor. But I am getting a pretty good read on the teams, guys. I think we've got our sample size, 5 games or so I'm going to slowly start increasing my bet size. Today, 3 picks. Let's check them out, see if we make some money, finish out the week with a bang. Let's go. All right, first up, Orlando is in Cleveland taking on the Cavs. Cavs 8-point home favorites, 215.5 of the total. For those of you wondering why the line is so high, there's a reason for this. Paolo Banchero, we got some injury news. He's going to be out for the next month or so. A torn oblique, something like that. I don't even know what that means. I'm not really good with some of this medical terminology. But the point is, he is not going to be with the team for the next month or so. And he's been balling, guys, the first 5 games of the year. He even had a 50-point game a couple of games ago. And the last one, the loss to Chicago, I think he had 33. So he was putting up some big numbers. That's a big loss for Orlando. Orlando, guys, a pretty deep team overall. No real superstars remaining, but they do have a pretty solid roster. 8, 9 men deep. I think they'll be able to hold their own until he gets back. Orlando 8-point dogs tonight. Cleveland 5-0, tops in the East, undefeated, the only undefeated team in the Eastern Conference. And in the NBA, I think it's just them and the OKC Thunder. Not only are they undefeated, guys, but they got a huge plus 18.2 point differential average, which means they're not only winning, but they're blowing out the opposition. Cleveland has been playing lights out to start off. But, guys, looking at the 5 teams that they played so far, 3 of them, not really nothing to write home about. Toronto, Detroit, and Washington, no real powerhouses. They did get the job done, though. The last 2, they did beat the Knicks and the Lakers, a couple of impressive W's. Cleveland is definitely on an uptrend. Now, guys, in this ball game, I am going to grab the point with Orlando simply because I'm going to play my strategy, superstar player out, back the team. This is going to be Orlando Magic in this game. +8, line is a little high. Oh, it is a little scary, to be honest, but I'm going to grab the points here, guys. Orlando plus the 8. All right, next pick coming in the game between Sacramento and Atlanta. The Kings 6.5-point road favorites, 239.5 of the total. To be honest, guys, both these numbers look pretty high in my opinion. The 6.5 for Sacramento, and the line actually opened up at 7.5, is getting bet down, and the total 239.5. I think that's the highest number we've seen so far this season. Sacramento's won 2 straight after dropping their first 2 to start the year. A couple of very impressive wins in their last 2 by double digits. Granted, came against Portland and Utah, but their running good basketball, guys, was working. They're healthy. That's very important right now for Sacramento. They're healthy coming into this game, rested. An advantage for Sacramento. Atlanta, guys, 2-3 so far on their year. They won their first 2, but dropped 3 in a row. And the last 2, guys, were absolute stinkers. They dropped both games to the Washington Wizards. How bad can it get? That bad, guys. When you lose 2 straight to Washington, you know things are not looking good. Atlanta, guys, also an ATS train wreck dating back from last year. I think they were the worst team against the number so far this year, 0-5. All their games, they failed to cover every single one, and every single one of their games has also gone over the number. So we got an obvious trend here. I'm going to follow this trend, guys. I'm going to take the Sacramento Kings with the -6.5. My play in this game. Now, if the over, guys, if the over trend is also good to continue, expect a high-scoring game, guys. Look at this number, 239.5. Sacramento, guys, my play in this spot right here. All right, third and final pick of the night. Chicago and Brooklyn taking on the Nets. The Nets are 1.5-point home favorites. 226.5 is the total. Guys, I am not going to overanalyze this game. I think most of you that have been watching my videos know how I feel about the Brooklyn Nets. I think when it's all said and done, they're going to be at the bottom of the East along with Washington. So any respectable team that is, Chicago is one of the respectable teams. They are 3-2 to start their year. If they're catching points on the road, I'm going to grab them. I'm going to take Chicago here with the +1.5. I'm not going to overcomplicate this, guys. The only negative I saw in this game while I was handicapping where I was handicapping it was the season series last year where Brooklyn did win it 3-0. That did kind of have me a little iffy, but I can't pass up the points here, guys. Plus, Chicago looked pretty sharp in their last two. They match up, I think, pretty well with the Nets. Now, if Brooklyn goes on some kind of crazy scoring spree, then so be it. I think the right side here is Chicago, and I'm going to take it. Plus 1.5, my third and final play of the night. Orlando plus 8, Chicago plus 1.5, Sacramento minus 6.5, my 3 plays for tonight. On an overall pretty difficult card, guys. I got to say the lines are pretty sharp tonight. The matchups a little weird. I can't say I'm super confident like I was the previous 3 days where we were hitting. We had a very good run 3 days now. I think we still went something like 8-1. Tonight, I'll be happy with a 2-1 night, guys. I'm going to be very honest with you. These games are tough tonight, but this is what I'm going to be going with. What I'm going to be going with for tonight. And that's it, guys. I don't think I have anything more to add over here. Like I do at the end of each video, I'm always going to tell you guys to bet responsibly. Always bet responsibly, guys. Always bet the games that you like. Don't follow anybody blindly. If you like these plays, if you like my analysis, follow me. If you like the other sides, it's all cool. Always go with your gut. That way, at the end of the day, you always have peace of mind whether you win or lose. My advice to you guys is this. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up the video right here. I'm going to wish you all good luck on your plays, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good one. Later.